Hi, I'm Timothy Goh, Chair of Peter's Ponderings Ministry. This is a ministry initiated by volunteers. We hope to bring biblical and inspirational perspective on life. Our vision is to instill courage, provoke thinking, and extend God's love in our world. If you have been blessed, we encourage you to sow into this ministry so that we can bless more people. Below are the ways that you can give.
I remember my father to be a remote Oriental gentleman. He was calm, collected, and reticent. He never showed too much emotion, not even expressions of love towards my mother. He was never rude or unkind to any of us in the family. His love was expressed in the way he provided for us, which was more than adequate. Growing up, my dad's approval was what I longed for. I thought excelling in school would bring a smile to his face. Only once did I top my class. I proudly showed him my report card. Dad looked long and hard at the grades, then turned to ask me, "What is maximum possible?" Everyone knows that's 100%. He then inquired, "Why is your mathematics not the maximum score?" No one else in class had the 96 marks I had achieved. And yet, that was not good enough for him to applaud. I felt I had let him down. Not long after that, my father came home drunk one night. That was the only occasion in the 21 years of my life with him that he was drunk. Dad was loquacious when he was intoxicated. His ramblings woke me to hear him declare how proud he was of his son for excelling in school. It dawned on me suddenly that he was talking about me, since I was the only son in the family. That must have been a critical tipping point for me, since I can still recall that incident vividly after over half a century since it happened. I attribute my confidence I have in life to that only declaration of approval I heard my dad express. I've wondered about the significance of God's seal of approval on Jesus at the start of his public ministry. Did the heartwarming, "You are my son, whom I love, with you I am well pleased," fortify Jesus for the fierce temptations that he faced in the wilderness right after his baptism? Sure, the angels ministered to him, but Jesus was focused on fulfilling God's purposes. That determination was obvious through his earthly sojourn. He said to his disciples, "My food is to do the will of him who sent me and to finish his work." Even in the face of peril, Jesus was resolute in heading towards Jerusalem. It was a bitter struggle in the Garden of Gethsemane when Jesus implored, "Everything is possible for you. Take this cup from me. Yet not what I will, but what you will." Is there any correlation between focused determination and resilience in adversity to paternal relationship? David Mortimer helps us understand how fathers influence growing children. He asserts that when fathers play with their toddlers, they are providing a safe yet challenging arena for children to learn how to interact with the world and with others. Through rough and tumble play, fathers create obstacles for their children that demand respect for limits, yet challenge them to explore their strength and abilities. Toddlers who have to figure out how to retrieve a ball just out of reach in their father's hand, or wrestling their father to the ground, are practicing problem-solving skills. Research indicates that when fathers are good at playing with their children, the young ones score higher on tests of thinking and problem-solving skills. Just as important, good relationship with fathers has a strong influence on children's emotional development. These children can identify their own emotions, acknowledge the emotional experiences of others, and point to causes of emotions. When children understand and learn to control their emotions, they have better interpersonal skills and enjoy relationships in more contributive and fulfilling ways. A father's involvement impacts his child through adulthood. The quality of a father's influence is a crucial factor in determining if the child develops the confidence and the competence to meet challenges in a positive manner, and if the child can build strong relationships. While Asians pride themselves to be family-oriented, there is much in their home experience that is pathological. Many young people grow up feeling insecure because fathers are emotionally remote or derelict in their responsibilities. Deprived of parental and particularly paternal nurture and guidance, they find it difficult to entrust themselves fully in relationships. Instinctively, they are self-indulgent as they take from others without restraint. They are constantly whining about their lot in justifying their self-absorption. They capitalize and feed on sympathy from others, mitigating their inability to reciprocate in a relationship. They see themselves as victims and are unashamed of their parasitic tendencies. Ultimately, they are committed only to themselves, and they inevitably cut loose from any moorings of obligations to others. Jesus chose to portray God as Father in telling the story of the prodigal son. While it is unthinkably insolent in an Eastern culture for a son to ask for his inheritance while his father is still alive, it is even more unimaginable that the father would accede to the prodigal's demand. In his love, the father becomes vulnerable to the pain of rejection. Where the deities in the culture are capriciously demanding, Jesus portrays God as a father who is vulnerably loving. John captures that when he comments, "He came to that which was his own, but his own did not receive him." Self-giving is the salient feature of God the Father. This feature can be traced in anyone who has been in a meaningful relationship with God. J.I. Packer asserts, "If you want to judge how well a person understands Christianity, find out how much he makes of the thought of being God's child and having God as his Father. If this is not the thought that prompts and controls his worship and prayers and his whole outlook on life, it means he does not understand Christianity very well at all. God, as the perfect Father, embraces us warmly into his family circle. The psalmist declares, God makes a home for the lonely. In granting his children free access, God desires to be involved and engaged in their lives. He exercises authority, albeit towards the well-being of his children. He pledges unflagging faithfulness to his own. I will never desert you, nor will I ever forsake you. I am with you always, even until the end of the age. God is sensitively generous in providing for his children. If you then, who are evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, Jesus iterated, how much more will your Father in heaven give good things to those who ask him? He is also attentively guiding his children. Let him have all your worries, for he is always thinking about you and watching everything that concerns you. It stands to reason then that if God is allowed to be actively involved in his children's lives, they would be psychologically secure and relationally trustworthy and engaging people. If our earthly fathers did not engage us in an affirming relationship, we can look to God for a healing of our pathologies and a transformation of our lives. We need not be doomed to a deterministic consequence of our Father's failures. However, we need to acknowledge our need, identify our psychological baggages, and open up to our Heavenly Father's transforming grace. John assures us, to all who received him, he gave the right to become children of God, not of natural descent, but born of God.
Thank you for watching this short video. We hope you have been blessed. This is a question for this session for you to ponder and to discuss with your group.